God told me to go read a passage of scripture. And I go look up the passage of scripture, and here's what it said. Observe the ant, O sluggard. Sluggard? What do you mean, God? I'm not a sluggard. I've worked my butt off. I'm not lazy. And then went and studied the word sluggard and the root word of where that word comes from. And the root word was indolent, which means pain avoidant. I said, okay, I am pain avoidant. And my friend said, well, you got to observe the ant. I said, what do you mean? She said, that's what the verse said. So she bought me an ant farm, literally. I said, all right, I'm going to obey God. I got the ant farm. It comes in the mail. You put the sand in the little aquarium. You get the test tube with the ants, and they come out. They're all frozen from the trip and barely alive. And I dump them in there. I'm not seeing a dissertation. Because that's what I was fearing. I couldn't write this dissertation. It's too much work. How do you do it? So I blew it off, and I took a week off, and I came back. I walk in my office, I turn on the light. There's that ant farm, and those ants had built a city. Highways and byways. And I had watched them at first, and they weren't doing anything that looked like it was getting. They'd pick up a grain of sand and start to walk, and they'd walk way over there, and then they'd come back, pick up another one. It didn't look like it was going anywhere. But I came back a week later, and that ant had built a city. And I said, okay, what are the grains of sand I need to pick up to write a dissertation? Well, I got to find a topic. I can do that. I go to the library all the time. I got to get a professor to be the chairman. Okay, take him to lunch. That's not hard. And I made this into these little steps. And what happened is kept doing the steps, and I got lost in the process. About 4 months later, I look on my desk, and there's a completed dissertation. And you know what? They started calling the sluggard doctor. That's a miracle. That is a miracle. And if you're going to transform a marriage, if you're going to transform a depression, an anxiety, a health problem, a problem with your kid, you're going to go, somebody's going to tell you, you got to connect with them. And you go home and you connect with them. And it doesn't help. You go, well, that doesn't help. Well, one grain of sand doesn't build a city. You connect day after day after day. But what the Bible teaches is the little bitty incremental steps across the desert will get you to the promised land. And it's not going to happen in a day. But it comes through faithful execution.